Thank you for being here. And I heard you. Good morning, good morning. It was wonderful. And I love the tall lady. One woman taller than me in the building is really nice to have. Good morning. My name is Christine Bivens. I'm Director of the Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business Development. And I thank you and welcome you to our 4th day of the Mayor and the City of Baltimore's 2016 Supplier Development and Inclusion and Minority Enterprise Development Week. From now on, I'm going to call it, thank you. From now on, I will call it SDI Med Week. All right, thank you again for being here at this procurement fair. We still have some exhibitors and peers that will be coming, so please stick around so you can see the exhibitors. And we already talked about matchmaking and the workshops that are coming up. Now, before I get started, I actually have to thank quite a few folks. And the first folks I really want to thank are the team of the Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business Development. This team is such a great team, particularly Myra Blanchard, Mackenzie Garvin, Reginald Beck. Without them, none of this week would have been possible. Also, the Minority Business Development Agency Business Center, and that team, Scott Phillips, Anthony Robinson, who's here at the table, and Megan Roundtree. Just thank you to all of them. I'm going to go through a litany of thank yous, but also want to make sure that you have an overview of the procurement fair. Now, I'd like to bring greetings from the mayor as well. Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake was planning to be here, but then something else has come up, unfortunately, that's outside of her control. And so she will not be here this morning, but I will bring her greetings as well as steal some of her talking points. Now, we also have a wonderful visitor with us from the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency. His name is Isaac McCoy. He is Senior Advisor, he's on the agenda, Senior Advisor for Business Development in the Office of the National Director for MBDA. And so we thank you and welcome you here as well. Now, having sustainable, viable, small minority and women-owned businesses is one of Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake's major initiatives. Providing access to information and opportunities and helping you make connections is a major part of what my office and WBD does. And we're able to work for you because of our fearless leader, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake. So what I'd also like to do for in giving some of the mayor's remarks and greetings for being here, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors who have made this entire week and this day possible. We have the gold sponsors, BGE and Whiting Turner. We have First National Bank. We also have the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council. We have the Department of Public Works and the Department of Transportation in the city, our Minority Business Development Agency Business Center, and there are some others as well. We'd like to thank all of you as our sponsors for helping make this possible. And if I could get a round of applause for our sponsors. Now, the mayor has mentioned that our small minority and women-owned businesses are the backbone of the city's growing economy. And you all as small minority and women-owned businesses know that. And actually, I'd like to take a poll of the room, of everyone in the room, who are the small minority and women-owned businesses that are represented? If you could raise your hands. Okay, great. I see a good amount of you sprinkled throughout the room. And also, I'd like to ask of the businesses that are here, how many are actually doing business with the city of Baltimore? By show of hands. Okay. We could do some improvement. We could do some improvement in that area, and that's part of what this procurement fair is about. Ensuring that you're making those connections with the agencies, and not just anyone in the agency, but the agency folks who can help you get to where you want to get to, which is getting contracts and knowing how to get there. We have workshop speakers who will talk about how to do business with the city on the contracting side, construction side, as well as the goods and services side. And then we also have our chief of the Law Department's Minority and Women's Business Opportunity Office to talk about how to get certified with the city. So we definitely encourage you to take full advantage of what we have here today and the resources that have been prepared. And as I mentioned, the matchmaking sessions are structured to connect small businesses with business opportunities in the city and the region, because we have regional partners with us as well. My office, I'm not going to go into accolades for my office. I've already done that. My team is great. My extended team, which includes the Minority Business Development Agency, as well as folks within the agencies. We count some of our procurement folks and the ones who do business. Sorry, I keep hearing the echo, so I'm going to probably pause every once in a while. So those who are in the agencies who deal with procurement, business, minority business connections, and coordination. We count them as part of our team as well, because they are really the face of the city. When you meet anyone from the city and you want to do business, they represent the city. And that's something that I think most of our folks understand, that whatever they present themselves to be initially, that's what folks are going to see as the city. And so we need to make sure that we're being inclusive and helpful, and just doing all that we can to ensure that our own city businesses and the region businesses as well, but particularly city businesses, are benefiting from city dollars. So throughout the week, we've highlighted the important role that diversity plays in our growing economy, because it strengthens opportunity. Sorry about that, I keep doing this feedback. Strengthens opportunity pipeline for our residents, families, and communities. Now, some of the achievements that the mayor has done are just really phenomenal in her term. She created the Mayor's Advisory Council and the Mayor's Coalition on Supplier Diversity and Inclusion. And the Advisory Council actually had a set of recommendations. She told them, go big or go home, when they came with their recommendations for how we can increase inclusion in the city. They came big. There's a set of recommendations. It's actually accessible on our website that has been being implemented for the last couple of years. And that implementation mechanism used was is the Mayor's Coalition on Supplier Diversity and Inclusion. They work tirelessly to ensure that the agencies and the city and other resources, so not just the city, but who is in the city, anchor institutions like Johns Hopkins I saw here, some other of the anchor institutions that are in the city are actually helping to do business and helping to grow the businesses in the city. She's reauthorized the MBE-WBE law, which now allows the minority and women-owned that are primes on contracts to count their self-performance up to about 50% on contracts with those goals. She strengthened economic inclusion on public-private partnerships and with anchor institutions. I mentioned Johns Hopkins, but there are some others like Morgan State University, Kaplan State University, University of Baltimore, and those different types of anchor institutions, or institutions, businesses, organizations that have been here for many years and will continue to be here and spend lots of money in the area, so they are in a great position to help businesses grow. She's created a mentor protege program, her mayor's mentor protege program, which is particularly working with these public-private partnerships such as BD Development and Sagamore Development, with that historic, I've never seen an inclusion commitment the level that Sagamore has agreed to. That's something that throughout the years, it's a good 20, 30-year plan, but in that 20, 30 years, we should really see some improvement in Baltimore. Same as with the BD development commitment. She's introduced procurement policies, which are still working their way through, but we have agencies that have been actually acting on those procurement policies. One of them, I don't think it's mentioned here. One of them is the hub zone, so it's historically underutilized business zone, small business preference. Now that one is a little bit limited in that it's I shouldn't say only, but half of the businesses in Baltimore are able to take advantage of this preference. And agencies would then select contracts. Agencies would select contracts that for either a public service, a public construction project that would allow a 10% bid preference or preference on the score for our request for proposal. And that can help a business to, if it's a smaller business and it's a contract that's amenable to being set aside almost, or not so much set aside, but have that preference put on it. It could allow a small business to actually win that contract over larger businesses or non-resident businesses. The other initiative that she put in place is the economic benefits factor and evaluations, so RFPs, or requests for proposals. That economic benefits factor is something that the city has likely been able to do for some time. It's never really been on the books, and so the city has put on the books, and many of our RFPs that are now going out have this economic benefits factor in it. If you've done any work with the state on an RFP, then you are familiar with that economic benefits factor. And what it does is that also allows a preference within the scoring. So as part of the actual technical score, that businesses, even if they are located, say, outside of the state or outside of the city, they have to demonstrate in their proposal how they're going to help Baltimore's economy through jobs, so through hiring, or through using city businesses, city certified MBE businesses, some other types of local economy driving initiatives to really help the city. So with that in place, it allows, even for those businesses that are outside of the city, it allows them to invest in the city. And all bidders or proposers then have to demonstrate how they will invest in the city. And then it gets part of their technical score. So that's something that we think is really great that's been put into place. And it will take time for it to really filter and become part of the culture of the city, but it is getting there. The mayor has done so much to really advance the city. We really appreciate all that she's done. And we appreciate all of you who are here to take advantage of the resources, the opportunities, the connections that are available. I absolutely encourage you to do just that. Before we continue, though, I'd like to bring on a special guest from the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency, Mr. Isaac McCoy, again, who is Senior Advisor for Business Development in the Office of the National Director, and hear his remarks from the U.S. MBDA, as well as some information that can be helpful to you. And before I bring Isaac up, I almost forgot our big announcement. Can't have you steal that from me. The city actually operates a Minority Business Development Agency Business Center. We had a 3-year grant for $900,000, the only municipality to have a business center. That business center is wrapping up, and now the mayor and the city of Baltimore has learned that it has been awarded now a $1.25 million 5-year grant to operate a Mid-Atlantic Region MBDA Advanced Manufacturing Project Center grant. So that means that, we should. It was a competitive process. And what that means is that Advanced Manufacturing Project Center is going to focus more on manufacturing for minorities, because as we know, that's an area where we don't have a lot of minority involvement, so it could be developed, and that's what we're going to be working on. And there's going to be more information coming on that as the project ramps up. But I can't just mention the grant without mentioning our partners on that grant. We have, in addition to the city and our business center, we have the Regional Manufacturing Institute that is a big part of the grant, a Baltimore Development Corporation, the Governor's Office on Minority Affairs, the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council, and Meridian Management Group. That core team is what helped us to win that proposal, and we're looking forward to what they're going to do. And that, since I didn't want Isaac to steal my information on that, Now I can turn it over to Isaac. Thank you very much, and welcome, Isaac.
Good morning, everyone. First, I would like to thank Mayor Rollins Blake, as well as Christine Bivens, just for their leadership, effort, and partnership over the last few years in providing the resources, policy, and initiatives that support minority businesses. Not only their growth, but their sustainability. As you mentioned, I work in the U.S. Department of Commerce with the Minority Business Development Agency. And for those that don't know what the Minority Business Development Agency is, it is one of the 12 agencies within the U.S. Department of Commerce, and it's the only federal agency that's dedicated to the growth and sustainability of minority businesses. And so one of the three things that our agency focuses on is access to contracts, access to capital, and access to markets. And because the federal government is prohibited from marketing their programs, we like to take opportunities like this to share with you some of the initiatives that we're doing, some of the partners that we have, so that our MBEs can plug into these national resources that we have. And so I just want to take a couple of minutes just to share with you a couple of initiatives that we've launched here in 2016. Once again, that you guys can plug into to support and grow your business. And so how we deliver contracts, access to contracts, markets, and capital. One is through our 44 business centers that we have throughout the country. These 44 business centers create customized business development services for you in these three areas. As Ms. Bivens mentioned, the city of Baltimore was our partner here in Baltimore. As of September 1st, LS Caldwell and Associates will be continuing the services of our MBDA Center here in Baltimore. But once again, we have centers throughout the nation. We also have, and I really want to highlight these four centers because these are national centers that are coming on board. We just awarded in the last week of September, and they're a federal center for capital access. And this is extremely important, once again, because the biggest impediment for minority business growth is access to capital. And so our agency in the U.S. Department of Commerce has invested in a partnership with the National Capital Access Center that's going to be pulling all resources together for non-traditional and traditional ways of financing to, once again, to support minority businesses. So our center here in Baltimore can plug into this national center, as well as individual organizations can tap into the resources and that this center has. We also have 4 national exporting centers. Just a quick stat, 95% of world's consumers come outside of the U.S. And so we really are strategic about getting minority businesses exporting their goods and services. So we're launching 4 centers. One's on the East Coast, one's in our southern region, one's on the West Coast and Midwest. Each of them have a different focus in different regions of our world. So once again, that's another resource that you can tap into if you're looking to expand into global markets. And then another is federal procurement. We also have a National Federal Procurement Center. It's actually going to be housed in Silver Springs, Maryland. So it's here on the East Coast. And that's, once again, going to look at opportunities on a federal level in contracts to see not only pulling together the resources, but helping minority businesses apply for them, looking at their applications and that process, and even to being able to help if they didn't get the contract, how that looks or how you could make some adjustments for future procurement. So these are centers, once again, that are regional based, or our partners are regional based, but they're a national scope. And so once again, these are ways in which you as an individual entrepreneur can tap into, and you can also tap into the business center here, and they can leverage these national resources. As Ms. Bivens mentioned, we also have advanced manufacturing. We understand that we want to get minority businesses in high growth industries, advanced manufacturing being one of them, and our relationship with the city of Baltimore will continue with them operating our advanced manufacturing center. Another is our Inclusive Innovation Initiative. This is, once again, a national initiative to bring innovation, inclusion, and tech to the minority community. And so how do we bring and include them into this conversation? Once again, another high growth industry. And so we're working with federal labs that have over $100 billion every year in research and development. And we're looking at how do we get that commercialized. And so how do we take the investment that the federal government has made in research and development and commercialize these patents as well as IP. And so if you're in the space of science, technology, engineering, healthcare, this is an initiative you really want to pay attention to. And once again, because we're doing this on a national level, and there's a number of ways that you can plug into that system. And then I do want to mention a couple of grant opportunities that we do have as obviously a government agency. We always have grants. And this is another way that you could partner with the U.S. Department of Commerce. And there's 5 different grant opportunities. One is the inclusive innovation, commercialization, and entrepreneurship. Once again, how do we get minority businesses included in this entrepreneurship and commercialization of federal research? So you can not only apply for these grants to, once again, to help further our initiative. You can also, if you're not interested in applying, you can see who wins the grant and see how you can work with them to be a part of this network. The other is business and economic rehabilitation in our Gulf states. There's 5 Gulf states in America that we're focusing on rehabilitating their economy and their business. So once again, if you have businesses in there or you have services in which that can support the rehabilitation of the economic and business climate in our Gulf states, this is definitely an opportunity that you want to look into. Another is, if you're familiar with SBA's 8A program, there might be a number of you that have been in or currently in the SBA's 8A program. We have a funding that looks at the transition of, after you finish with the 8A program, how do you diversify your revenue so that you're sustainable? And so once again, this is another opportunity, especially for those that are in the 8A program. And then another is our community business access to capital. We're looking at, once again, ways in which we could invest in organizations and businesses to bring access to capital to our minority businesses. And then our 5th and final funding opportunity is the business innovation for the next generation. And so those that have programs for youth or the millennial generation from 16 to 36, we're looking at how do we invest in the next generation. So if you have ideas, programs, or your partners do, please let them know they need to check out this funding opportunity. So once again, we can invest in the millennial generation for innovation and tech. And I'll leave you with, not only do the U.S. Department the U.S. Department of Commerce focus on programs and policies, we also have an advocacy initiative. Once again, I think it's that I want to let individuals know we're working with the Department of Justice on Title VI, and we're looking at how discriminatory practices are happening within the allocation of federal resources and dollars. And so if we're looking at how to grow our minority businesses, we want to make sure that contracting is done on a fair and equitable level. And so we're working with the Department of Justice to look at our nation and how we award contracts and making sure that it is fair and just. So once again, just want to thank you for your time. Once again, I really appreciate the leadership of your mayor, as well as Ms. Bivens, on creating an opportunity and a space where minority businesses can grow and thrive. So thank you very much. Please follow if you want more information, you can get my card. I can definitely share that with you. You can look at some of our information on mbda.gov. You can sign up for our listserv so you can get continued information on research, policies, and initiatives that can support your business and your community. Thank you, and enjoy your day.
All right, thank you, Isaac, for all that wonderful information. It gave me something to think about as far as applying for some additional funding opportunities, and possibly you as well, because you can partner either as a business. Many of these opportunities, I think, are open for businesses to apply for, not just organizations and governments. So that's wonderful. I'd like to thank again you all for being here, and I definitely want you to walk around, continue to make those connections, continue to really follow up and you already know what you need to do as far as marketing and making sure that you're able to reconnect with the people that you've talked with. Please continue to do that. And before I totally let you go, just wanted to do a little housekeeping and you have your agenda packets. And so within your agenda packets, it gives you the timing of the workshops. So you have a few minutes, I'm leaving you with a few minutes to continue discussions. And then at 10 o'clock, the workshops that are repeating start. And they're listed as well, very nicely, as to where they're held. So at 10 o'clock, we've got 2 workshops. The certification workshop, which is going to be held here. And then the other workshop is how to do an overview of how the city of Baltimore procures services. And that's going to be downstairs near the Fayette Street entrance. Then they repeat. At 10:45, we've got, well, before it repeats, we've got here at 10:45 doing business with the city of Baltimore for design and construction. And then also certification, then we'll move to the downstairs area. And then at 11:30, we'll have the overview of procurement of services here, and then design and construction downstairs. So we hope that you're able to take advantage of that, as well as to take advantage of the matchmaking sessions, which again start at 10:30, and you can sign up until 10:15. So welcome. Those of you who have come from outside the city, welcome to the city. We hope that you do make those connections and find who you need. I actually have a couple of tables here to give you more information, the City of Baltimore, my office, as well as our business center. So please feel free to stop by and ask any questions. We should have the resources that you need, and of course, all of the exhibitors that are here. Thank you, and I give you a round of applause for being here.